next level. And we can definitely see he is well and truly ready for that next level. But what we're ready for right now is to hop onto the pitch. Vodafone Giants versus Endpoint CEX. And well, the Giants have made a giant statement, 7 seconds, and already got the opener goal.
Itachi just carries the ball so well to the backboard and says, please, everything is served. Actually, he did get the goal. Who got the touch in the end? I thought it was Steak, and yes, it's the other way around. Did he get a double touch? It's so weird.
Sometimes it do be like that, but Jam, definitely, I would look at this game and say we've got finalists in the making still here, because all credit to train hard, but you still don't expect them to go to the finals. They are the wildcard team after all. These two, like I said earlier, licking their lips, looking to go deep within this tournament. You only play 3 matches at most, 8-team single elim. And already after that burst goal, here's a response. Virtuoso in that new Endpoint decal is looking good.
It's like plus 22 shot power, plus 15 to dribbling capabilities. Definitely, that's a Virtuoso that we would love seeing on the field. Goal scoring, creating opportunities for himself. And Vodafone Giants just were not able to close down this passing play down the middle of the field. Usually you see the passes coming in from the flanks, but here they just dribble it all the way forward to make sure that nobody from Vodafone Giants can get a touch on it. Lovely stuff.
Wait, not going to be able to keep hold of it, so Virtuoso goes for an absolute runner. The lane wave was below, but broken apart. Good follow-up from Metza. Virtuoso getting out of dodge, Itachi with the back pass, but it's picked on up. Steak going absolute miles with this one, but locked on out in the midfield. You can see Endpoint looking to gain control of that midfield line, Jam.
It's the bread and butter. If you want to have the control of the game, first you need the control of the midfield. This gives you twice as many boost pads. This gives you the opportunity to get your rotations much more closer to where you want to be than the opposition. And so as a strategy goes, that's a pretty solid one, but you also need not forget about your defense. Itachi, after ball, kept on spiking high up in the air. Him and his team work Endpoint down to the ground as nobody is able to stop the final shot.
Yeah, the ball's well placed around Virtuoso there, but Metza, Relaying Wave, don't really know what their excuse is. Heyo, the best remedy for an excuse is a goal in return. Get yourself redeemed. That's well followed up. Oh, Metza not being able to get the connection. Sorry, Virtuoso there. Metza looking to get this out of dodge and does actually connect with Virtuoso. That's a nice run. Can he get around the well? Can he get back to Relaying Wave in the middle? Relaying Wave didn't fancy it. He wasn't expecting it to make his way through.
I was expecting him to take a shot originally. Well, that almost threw Vodafone Giants for a loop, but Endpoint couldn't agree on who's taking it, when they're taking it. They're still on the attack, though. They can more and more players coming in for a challenge, and just blocks are coming in one after the other. Does he have a touch? He does not. The Relating Wave with lack of boosts cannot send it goalwards for a moment that Endpoint would like to take.
Good pressure being put on, though, from Endpoint here. Finally, ball off wide. Itachi picking it on up. Not going to get the runner. Virtuoso does well to dislodge the player, but the attacks keep coming on through. Relaying Wave out to the center. Metza is there, blocked on out by Itachi once again, who has only gone and got himself a hat trick.
Jesus, so greedy, Itachi. Leave something for your teammates, but that's a lovely challenge. Metzenaris, honestly, I don't think he got anything out of that one. The ball was only going past him and somewhere in the vicinity of his net, and that final bump that one of the Vodafone Giants has executed on the last Endpoint defender means that nobody is once again able to stop what was a simple shot, but you need people in front of it to make a save.
So 2 minutes left to go, and it's getting a little nervy, or should I say explosive, as Itachi just goes and sends it. Makes this look easy, Jam.
It's Itachi. There's a reason why I'll single him out as the top player on Vodafone Giants team to look forward to, and he is doing just that. A one-man show, and you said it. He is a one-man mission, one-man typhoon. They don't need anyone else. Although, of course, they do need the rest of the help. Those passes coming in from Stake crucial for the setups for Endpoint, for Vodafone Giants rather, as they usually mean that Stake and the rest have usually cleared up a field for them. Look at that, Stake going for a demo on the flank as well, but they cannot get the player despite the man advantage 3 versus 1 for Vodafone Giants.
And finally, Endpoint get a response. It was a bit of a freebie runaway, well picked up by Metza. Great second touch, but you look at Giants, maybe a little bit overconfident, a little bit too downfield, Jam. We'll give them that. They definitely have earned that confidence. But still, Endpoint are not done here. 1 minute 20 to get 2 goals just to send us into OT. But Metza looks ready for the job.
They're all setting up again. Weak play on the backboard. They wanted to either get Stakeout to react fully, maybe make a jump, maybe a clearing save, and the ball is still in front of the net. Is this a slow roller? It almost was looking like it's gonna just trickle its way into the net as Endpoint were pushing on that ball to get past the line.
You can definitely see Giants are ready for the onslaught. Metza, that was a nice idea. Back to Virtuoso, but not going to be able to connect. Giants just looking to intercept everything. Talk about interceptions, how about a pass as well over the Stake. Looking to get this back into the mid, but relating wave, cutting it on out. He's going to try and slow things down with passing plays over the Virtuoso, but Virtuoso just hands it on over, not able to keep the ball to themselves. Pass out to mid. Again, not going to be able to go the whole way. And Giants don't mind that too much. As long as they have pressure, Jam, they're safe.
All they need to do is just let that timer run out, and they're going to be set. Although in the game that was solid for them, of course, those forced goals by Itachi and the way in which he has been scoring them could not be discounted. But Endpoint still had their opportunities. Honestly, that was 9/10 in. I have no idea how he managed to make that save. Unfortunately, such a great save will not count for 2 goals back, or nobody's going to reduce the amount of goals that Itachi has scored. But Endpoint have made a statement that their game plan is still valid. As long as they can stop Itachi, it does feel to be that this series is still wide open.
Well, it's just that case of Endpoint are leaving a lot of lines to net absolutely open here, Jam. And they definitely started patching it on up. You could see they weren't contesting just looking to hold the midfield line from the second half of the game because they realized that wasn't really working. You look at Giants, they can just break through those lines very quickly. So Endpoint here are probably going to be looking to mix things up. If they want to put pressure, it's got to be on the backboard, near enough right on that goal line. It's not going to work from the midfield. Giants have got really good at working with nothing, being boostless warriors, essentially.
I mean, it's what you need to do against Endpoint, the team that will be looking to take everything away from you. You have to work with just a little piece of those Stake. He's going for double tap. There's no question where that goal is going to end up. It's in the net of Endpoint for the second time in a row, a disadvantage for the team in the blue as Vodafone Giants start this one with bang.
Textbook off the backboard there from Stake. Beautiful opener. And heck, he's even gone and won up Itachi, saying, you got that your first goal in 7 seconds. How about 6 for me there, buddy? Nice little bit of rivalry between teammates. Itachi just going to fade away from that one. Don't know if a missed jump or even a fake. Good block coming on out there from Metza, but Virtuoso not able to pick up cleanly. The Land Wave does get a bump and a block. Metza back into the mixer, but Land Wave just does not have the boost, not able to get high enough onto it. And you look at Endpoint here, Jam, it's not clean at all. It's a bit of a scramble attack, just trying to keep pressure. And for me,
there's Virtuoso. Look at him.
Not look convincing.
They're forced to work with quite short and broken rotations. As it stands, they don't just have the players all in one spot. But that pressure that they're exerting is still allowing them, at the very least, not to allow Vodafone Giants out of their own half. And Itachi, oh my goodness, he's doing it again. It is that rivalry. Stake, you've scored a nice-looking double tap. Itachi is going to make it look even fancier. Look at him. Waits just enough to let everyone on Endpoint react. And then just calmly put it into the net. I am in awe of the skill that Itachi has.
And I just love that Zamwe is happily able to feed both of them. He's like, you know what? We get goals, we win. That's what matters at the end of the day. You two want to squabble, you want to fight over who can get goals. Be my guest. Here's the ball. I'll even put it on a silver platter for you. And again, Giants just looking untouchable at the moment to Endpoint. Nothing they can do. You're right. These short, broken rotations where it's a full sense of hope. The Giants just keep stomping on them.
The hopes are quite broken at this point. That pass, honestly, I tip my hat to that pass. Itachi only needed to clean it up. His job was like 20%. What has happened is his teammate who has set him up perfectly. All the while, Endpoint is getting another. It's another backboard. How on earth that rotation, that kickoff rotation, as the ball just on the line, in the net? No, out of the net. But that rotation from Vodafone Giant on the kickoff, or just the kickoff strategy as they employ, allows Stake or somebody else always to follow up the ball and get it to the backboard. And it feels like Endpoint just do not have the players in the right position to react to that. And we're going to see another one of these goals for sure.
Good pick up there from Metza, seeing the little bit of an overextension. Zamwe looking for the tap off the wall. Metza just jumps on in, and with a capital Y, screams yoink.
Yoink! Zamia had a plan. I don't think he either realized how close Metzanorris was or didn't expect him to come. He definitely had the time to set everything up. He waited to make that touch on the ball. He waited to set him up for a little bounce on the wall to then send it higher. This didn't account for the opposition. Virtuoso, they're trying for a little short pass themselves. And we're looking to create, again, something out of nothing in this case. Just seeing how well they can do with a little of improvised play. Something that cannot be easily read by Vodafone Giants. As of recently, a lot of top-tier teams have really started to use the infield pass scheme. But then again, every single team is also reading that play style very well now. So they need a new strategy. And I feel like this a little bit of improvisation, a little bit on the spot thinking to get something done.
Well, whilst the lads of Endpoint are suffering from a little bit of OGS jam, open goal syndrome, Virtuoso just skying it. The opposite cannot be said for Zamwe. Absolutely snipes, sends it downfield, and Giants sitting pretty 4-1 up. What do Endpoint do right now, Jam? Where do they go here to turn it around? Because the light at the end of the tunnel is starting to get pretty dim here, buddy.
No, I'd say it's the other way around, Bacon. The light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter and is actually approaching them. And I feel like the Vodafone Giants have all the power to
that's
just
not a light you want.
Yeah, it's not the light you want. It's the train that's coming to completely stomp you, roll over you. The name of that train is Vodafone Giants right now. 8 goals in 2 games, still with a chance to score even more. And as for Endpoint, they need to adjust to those rotations that Vodafone Giants are getting. First of all, playing each and every game with a disadvantage right at the very start. That completely gets rid of your initial game plan, which is usually, okay, we're playing to score a goal, and we're playing to see where that leads us further on. They immediately are forced to play from the back, and that's not what you want to see. We're watching Stakes camera, but the most important part is happening in front of the net. As Vodafone Giants are getting their 5th, all the while Endpoint are just looking not there. They're not at home. They're nearby. They're goal adjacent. But Vodafone Giants are just passing the ball in between each other, keeping it away from Endpoint like the bowling they are.
You look at no contention over in the corner, so State can just pop that ball with a lot of power, mind you, right above the goal. Zamwe wasn't able to finish off, but Itachi could to clean it up. And for me, Giants right now are oozing with confidence, and it's purely because they're not getting countered. Endpoint, whilst not playing a terrible game by any means, just aren't halting. They're not stopping anything that Giants are doing here, and they need to start breaking them down, nullifying. You can just see hits once again into the mid. Whilst sure, it's good to have some passes, they're just easily read because they're not that powerful and not that damning. And this is where you want that sort of fire in Virtuoso to kick up once again. Instead, he's the one getting demoed on out by both State and Itachi. We need some demos coming on out from Endpoint to try and break down the Giants and maybe create some gaps in their play.
Well, they'll have 5 more minutes, a little bit more than 5 more minutes to think about it, as game number 2 is certainly out of the reach of Mercenaries and company. Vodafone Giants have shown that their aggressive playstyle, their high-scoring playstyle, has not gone anywhere, and the team that cannot counter it will be suffering greatly. To the tune of 4 and now 5 goals in 2 games. That's 9 versus 3 in goal total between the teams. And you can just expect that the Giants will be continuing that goal scoring prowess. For Endpoint, it's both those points that you've touched on already, Bacon, and the fact that perhaps their standard game plan, go for these bumps, go trying to make a disturbance in the defense of the opposition, and then try to create something out of that one, right now isn't working. So switch to plan B, and that is to try to just play your standard passing play style. Try to send balls on the backboard with a little bit more velocity, so that is they're not as easily reachable for those on the backboard. Just try to, and first and most importantly, you need to adjust for what Vodafone Giants are currently doing. Open goal syndrome is a horrible, no good disease, but it can be cured. You only need to apply a little bit of smarter play on top of that. I think you'll be fine. Third game, first kickoff, not an immediate goal. Although I might have spoken to two, they're on the attack, and there's going to be a pass. There's going to be a miss as well. Vodafone Giants could have set the record straight once again. But for Endpoint, this gives them smallest of advantage, not even advantages, smallest of the neutral positions, and a way to finally get back in the series.
Well, back in week 1 of the grid, Endpoint got taken down 3-0 by the Giants. We do not want to see a repetition of that, do we, right now? At least a game for Endpoint, at least. But, oh me and my steak. Have some mercy here, buddy.
Relating wave way past the ball, way off the angle. And those passes, Bacon, it seems like Vodafone Giants are playing, that was a pinch, but honestly, if you look at all the other play that Vodafone Giants are currently showing on the field, they're playing as if they not even caring about where Endpoint's players are. And Endpoint, as a result, are completely baffled about what's happening. Relating wave does make matters equal, and I feel like they needed an explosive goal such as this one. That's a solid passing play. That's what Endpoint have been missing.
That just sort of like mellows out the morale. No longer are they down in the dumps. They have a fighting chance. You've got to think as well. Yeah, Trainhard got the first 2 games about from BDS, but then game 3, of course, went in BDS's favor in the chance at the reverse sweep. I know it did get squashed, but perhaps this is just Endpoint's story. We don't care about that right now. What an absolute launch downfield there by Relating Wave. It is damaging in front of net. Relating Wave trying to chase up on Sandy. It is out to mid. Mets not able to reach the stake with an absolute run. Zero boost right here and now, and Relating Wave rotates back in time. Mets are looking to send it the distance. He's got boost to follow up on it. Gets the 50-50. Needs this connection from Relating Wave right here, right now. Needs a man underneath. But Mets are just not able to climb the ladder quick enough. And Vodafone Giants back on the attack.
Wow, this game 3 is heating up. And Bacon, this is the longest Endpoint have been in a tie situation in the series. Every previous game has started with a Vodafone Giants goal 6-7 seconds in.
What is that?
I'm sorry, Endpoint. I was talking about your line record.
Zamway. Buddy. Little golf clap.
It's unfair. Bacon, sometimes
that was something.
I would upgrade it from a golf clap to just a standing ovation. Some of the plays that Vodafone Giants are currently pulling out, technically, that is the most impressive thing. Teamwork is already great, but most importantly, technically, they're pulling out some fantastic moves. Every single time you see them up in the air or just on the ground with the ball, watch as they control their car, watch as they touch the ball, watch as their movements are just machine precision. And that lead, I keep on saying lead. For Endpoint, there has been no lead. Now it's slightly back to a status quo. They still need one back end. But for Endpoint, this has been a game of chasing back. And they had that stretch of 1.5 minutes where they finally were tied and could play with Vodafone Giants on equal terms. And that was the closest the game has been looking. But Vodafone Giants just let the Endpoint play a little bit. And now taking the power back.
Yeah, well, you got to think right there. It's the kickoff goal. Does show that Giants, can sometimes slip up there, but it wasn't off their own backs. It wasn't off a build-up. It wasn't off their work. And now kickoff is well long and gone, so they've got to try and get that build-up themselves. Try and find something. Metzer wanting to slow it down with the bat ball, but that was an easy pickup for Stake. Maybe trying to just pull defenders out left, right, and center. Metzer's high in the air. He did pick up the midfield boost, so got tons of boost to work off, 50-50, but Stake on that bat board. So good to bring it into the dribble. Even wanted to get that connection, but Virtuoso, with the shot, not able to keep control of it. It just looks so scrambly once again from Endpoint.
It feels like the pace of the game, how it was in the fourth minute of play or the first minute of play, really has been really benefiting Endpoint. That open play where it wasn't a contest as it is right now. Vodafone Giants with another block. Goodness gracious, 2 posts, 3rd post, technically a 3rd post. They are not able to get the ball in, but honestly, at this point, it's already such a signal to Endpoint that a goal is just about to come. Vodafone Giants are just keeping it tidy and nice. But yeah, that fast kind of play style that was both teams are showing somewhere at the start of the game is what I feel like Endpoint was looking in the best. What is happening right now is completely against their playstyle, and it's not helping that. When Vodafone Giants crash on that net, they absolutely dismantle it.
Well, whilst there might be a small bit of praise for the woodwork, they still need a man between the sticks. And unfortunately, right there, Mets are not able to climb up quick enough. They need someone rotating around from the back post to be able to jump across and they can get those clearances and follow throughs. Instead, they're just getting all caught up. Demos like that from Lane Wave might be able to offer them a little bit of time, but you can definitely see that change up has helped massively. Stake not going to be able to beat out Virtuoso there. Mets are back to mid. There was a connection between Stake and Itachi. Opportunity for Virtuoso, but needs another man. No! How did that connect with the net? I thought it was
I wasn't expecting this to be a goal. I wasn't expecting this to be a goal either, and yet Virtuoso manages to just put it just enough for all the bounces to slowly move it into the net. A lovely passing play wasn't closed down immediately as Vodafone Giants were once again challenged down the midfield in a way that does seem like their weakest point, and Endpoint are able to just have enough players and enough folks in front of the ball to send it where they want it to be. But that is 30 seconds of 2-goal difference. For Vodafone Giants, it seems that it's just enough to send it back. You could see Mercenaries and Relating Wave both rotating out. Relating Wave goes hard for the ball. Same ball that his teammate has already gone, and Virtuoso is not back in the rotation just yet. They are hurrying back into the offense, but Vodafone Giants are so adept at immediately recognizing that and hitting the rotation of Endpoint where it hurts the most.
Big clearance coming on out, but Mets is just not quick enough to follow through on it. 15 seconds left to go. It is possible to turn this around, but it's now or never. Endpoint not in control of the ball, finally gifted over to them, but time is running on out. With that up in the air, we are done and dusted. Vodafone Giants going to be moving on to face Train Hard Esports later on today. And Jam, just how good do the Giants look right now? They definitely have their heads in the clouds, but they have well and truly earned it. They are looking massive.
Huge. Absolutely huge. That's exactly how they're looking.